We were all revolted by that horrible photo of ISIS beheading that poor reporter and the barbarity of which it's capable. But this video is about how to confront the threat of ISIS in the United States. There was a chilling report the other day that 2,100 Europeans and Americans have left Europe and left the United States to go to Iraq and Syria to fight on behalf of ISIS. And as soon as the war is over there, they're all going to be coming back to the U.S. and to Europe, trained in terror techniques and perhaps equipped with terror paraphernalia. This could represent a very serious threat. About 500 of the 2,000 are from France, 300 are from Britain, 300 from Germany, 100 so far identified from the United States. There are a couple of things that we might consider doing which would deal with this problem and help us contain it. The first is we may want to reconsider the visa waiver program we have with European countries, where anyone from Europe can get into the United States without a visa from most of Europe, many of the countries. And in return, our citizens don't need a visa to go over there. That's something we might want to rethink, because the problem is that Europe is completely porous when it comes to terrorists from the Middle East. They have no trouble getting in through Turkey, and once inside the European Union, they can go any place they want in Europe without a passport and without a visa, and can travel to the United States without a visa. And we have no way of knowing who they are, and we have no way of checking on them. In some cases, they've been able to check the passports to see if those people had been to Syria or had been to Iraq. But since their entry to those countries was covert as well, it's not likely that we're going to be able to trace them. The one other step we ought to take is I believe we ought not to give student visas to anyone who comes from directly or even indirectly from a country that is regarded as a sponsor of terror. They can get an education elsewhere. There's no need for us to take that risk. The other is a longer-term policy that'll take a year or two or three to implement, but I think is very serious. We know about how dangerous the southern border is, where there's no patrolling and at the moment people can just walk in. But our airports are also very vulnerable, because while we maintain as strict a scrutiny as we can of who comes in on visas, we have no way of noting who leaves. So when someone comes in on a student visa, we just have to hope that they'll leave when the visa's up. And I believe particularly when you're dealing with terror-sponsoring or terror-supporting countries in the Middle East, the United States should keep tabs on who's leaving so that we know who's left here, so that we can investigate and make sure that there's no acts of terror being contemplated. And of course, the final issue is, with this kind of terror threat alive in the world, how can we maintain a revolving door or an open door on our southern border? In 2014, the ICE has apprehended 150,000 people entering the United States who did not come from Mexico or Canada. Now, 60,000 of those were the children and accompanying parents from Central America, but many of them might have been from the Middle East and might have been from other countries. You simply can't, in an era as prone to terrorism as this, just have an open door on your southern border. Thanks for watching.